Some people like to challenge me on occasion. For example, today's gospel. Jesus never sinned, right? What about when he got mad and went into the temple and destroyed everything, and tipped the tables over? Wasn't that a sin? Well, I always enjoy a good challenge, so let me explain my response to that one. First, I think we need to discuss why Jesus became so angry. And to help us understand that best, let's look at an airport scenario. People who are traveling to other countries have to exchange their currency. Let's say I'm flying to France. Well, when I get there, my American currency has no value in France, so I have to exchange it for the euro. And I usually do that, or people usually do that at the airport. So we exchange our American money for euros. And that service is not provided free. There's usually quite a hefty fee that we have to pay for that. And it often angers me that I have to pay maybe $20 just to exchange my money. So this is exactly what happened in the time of Jesus when he destroyed the temple. People from other countries use different money. And when they come to the temple, they would want to buy sheep or birds or whatever to sacrifice to God. But they wouldn't allow them to use their money. They had to exchange their money for temple money. And to do that, they had to pay for that service. That's what angered Jesus, because these people were already poor and came to buy animals to sacrifice to God, yet they had to pay a fee in order to be able to do that. And somebody made money from that, and that's why he got angry and destroyed everything in the temple. Now, a question for you. Were those actions of Jesus's sinful? And my response is no. Jesus did those without committing any violence against anyone, without hurting anyone. He simply destroyed some things and said, that's enough. Sometimes when we're watching the news and we see a protest on television, well, maybe we should question, is that a sinful protest? Well, that depends. Protesters are angry, but we need to look and see whether or not they use violence, whether they burn buildings, whether they beat people. If they do that, then I would say yes, that is a sin. But there are protests where people protest quietly, without violence, without destruction, and that isn't sinful. A good example of that might be 25 years ago during the Deaf President Now protest, where the Gallaudet board chose a hearing president for Gallaudet University, and the students didn't stand for it. They closed down Gallaudet and went on strike. There was no sin, they didn't hurt people, there was no violence, and they won. That's a great example of a protest without sin. Another one would be during the time of Martin Luther King, when Black Americans became fed up with how white people were treating them, and they decided to protest. They didn't use violence. They didn't burn buildings. They didn't hurt people. That wasn't a sinful protest. So during Lent, it's a good time for us to look at our own anger and look at some of these issues, whether or not we're being destructive or violent against people. And look at what Jesus did. While he was angry, he didn't commit violence or hurt people. God bless you.